It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show.
Welcome to the Dep Lewis Show, episode 26. This is your host, Dep Lewis, and today is Sunday, April 2nd, 2023. So happy April to you guys out there, and happy April Fools to you. Hope you didn't get fooled too bad, and if you did, joke's on you. Sorry to say it. The day's over. It's April 2nd. Move on. Move forward. If you got fooled, you got fooled. This makes it sound like I got fooled out there, but guess what? I did not. And I fooled one person. I told them I thought they were cool, and then I said April Fools. So that's about as hard-hitting as it got around here. Hopefully your world was kind of the same. But happy April to you. Happy April Fools to you. Happy Dep Lewis Show, episode 26 to you, and welcome to the show. Hope you've been having a great week since we last talked. It's been a pretty good week here. I don't have anything too crazy to think of or report, so it's just been a normal, standard, fun video game, living life world week. Working, playing some games, having some fun, all that kind of good stuff out here. The weather's getting warmer. The spring is springing out here. Some allergy stuff's popping, but what can you do? It just comes with the territory, so welcome to the show. So please, the first thing we want to do is some housekeeping. So if you're a fan of the show, and you'd like to support the show even more besides just listening like you're doing right now, which I appreciate to the moon and back, follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, and tell a friend, tell two friends, tell an enemy, tell an animal, tell whoever you want. Get this show spinning and get this show playing. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. That email box is open 24/7, 365. So slide on in there with your emails, with your questions, with your feedback, with whatever you want to say, to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. That email box is for you out there, loyal listener. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. The Buzzsprout page is a great hub to find the perfect place for you to listen to the Dep Lewis Show, or hell, you can listen to it on the Buzzsprout website. So either way you want to do it, the Dep Lewis Show is giving you options. Some more options for you. I got some clips on YouTube and TikTok, which can show some gameplay footage of the games I'm talking about, so that's very exciting and interesting. So if you'd like to go watch those, check them out and like them and do all those great things. And then notes from last show. I said I'd like to promote the Patreon a little more here, so patreon.com/DepLewisShow is the best place to go. If you want to support the Dep Lewis Show in an extra way, there is a general support tier called the ground floor tier. It's $1 a month, and that is a support tier for the Dep Lewis Show, and it's much appreciated. The first 100 people to that tier will get the dollar rate, and if it ever changes or if another tier is ever introduced to the Dep Lewis Show pantheon, that tier is always going to remain there. So those first 100 people will always get a deal. It'll always be $1, and that will never change, and you'll always get all the content available on the Dep Lewis Show Patreon. So a pretty forward-thinking purchase for yourself. If you really want to get in on the future Dep Lewis Show action for the low, I think this is the best way to do it. And it's obviously just a great way to support the show right now, and I would really appreciate it. So please go check out the Patreon. Not only is it just for general support, you do get the ad-free versions of the Dep Lewis Shows Off series, which has had 2 entries, Dead Space, and what is the other game we did? We did Dead Space, another scary game, and we did the Resident Evil 4 Chainsaw demo. So you can go check those out. Those are on YouTube as well, but they have ads because they're on YouTube. But if you'd like to watch the ad-free versions and support the Dep Lewis Show, go check those out on patreon.com/DepLewisShow. So I just want to shout out the Patreon here. Very cool website, and it would be cool to get some more engagement and support on there. So we are a quarter of the way through the year. I don't think I have a clear-cut number 1 game of the year yet, but I have some decent options. I put together my, I'm keeping a running list of games I played, games that have come out that I didn't play, and then things in the future of this year that I'd like to try. And I believe there's at least 6 entries that I've tried, and I've ranked them already. But I'm not going to bring that knowledge here to you today because it is an ever-changing list. I'm just trying to check in with myself and see where I'm at with these games of the year. But I think I have 5 out of those 6 that I would feel confident could be on my list at the end of the year. One of them is just kind of a filler because I played it and it's on there right now. But I'm feeling really, really good about this year. There's still some games out there I want to purchase that have come out already. But checking in with this list is a good indicator that I'm going to have 10 games at the end of the year pretty easily, and I'm going to have to decipher down between them. So that's kind of the fun part. So I'm going to, let my hair down, quit stressing a little bit on the games that I'm playing, because I'm obviously playing enough games, from doing this check-in. It's a quarter of the year through. I've got a bunch of games on the list. I got some that I feel really strongly about, so that's very nice, and it's going to be a great year. So hope you had a great first quarter. Happy April to you, and we are going to start the show today. So I'm going to tell you about what we're doing. We're going to talk about what I've been playing here in the first section. I got some video games I've been playing and I want to talk to you about. In the middle section, the mid section, we're going to talk about what I've been seeing across the video game landscape. We had a gameplay trailer that came out that's pretty interesting that you want to hear about. It was around 10 minutes long. We have some DLC coming out, and we have some news. And then the final section, we're going to talk about some books again. Wow, look at the Dep Lewis Show reading 2 weeks in a row. Getting some pages in, so that's pretty nice. We're going to talk about some books. We're going to talk about a live show or a podcast that I really like, talk about an update there, and we're going to talk about some sports. So that is the flow of the show. So just so you know, that's how the Dep Lewis Show is going to flow. I'm going to take a sip of coffee and we're going to get right into this. So, the video games of the week. Let's talk about what I've been playing. The first game that I've been playing came out on March 28th, 2023. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is on the cover. This game is available on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X, and Nintendo Switch. It's the 18th entry of the franchise. And that game is MLB The Show 23. The baseball is back, baby. Spring has sprung and baseball is here. And we're going to keep on rhyming. Baseball is here, giving Dep Lewis Show a reason to cheer. Yes, baseball is back, and it's so damn good. The weather's getting warm. Baseball's back on TV. Baseball video games are back out. Can't get much better out there, according to me, in the sports world. So it's been really great. This game came out, and I've been playing some of this. I started a season. Let's talk a little bit more about this game, though, real quick. This is the third consecutive year the Xbox versions of the game are available on Xbox Game Pass subscribers at no additional cost. So that is how I'm playing MLB The Show 2023, is through Xbox Game Pass, which is amazing. So I was able to just download this game when I woke up that day. I have Game Pass, so it's bada bing, bada boom, easy as pie. Download that game and play. I'm loving this game so far. I did take some practice swings, getting used to it. I played practice. And I decided, even after, I talked to a friend as well who plays the show, and I decided to switch to classic mode for hitting so I don't have to target the direction along with the timing. So I've been using classic mode for the hitting. I started the season with the Braves, and I'm playing as Ronald Acuna Jr. with the player lock, and I am leading my team in batting average. I've been hitting some bombs out of the stadiums. I've been playing some pretty decent outfield. I haven't been really throwing anybody out, but I've been making my cutoff throws pretty well. And I've had so much fun with this game. Let's see. I had one glitch during this game so far. I just wanted to bring that up. I was playing a game. Ronald comes up to bat, and the screen just froze at the beginning of that bat, and I ended up kicking me back to the home screen for some reason. So, I'm coming in hot with this game, saying I'm so happy, but I did see that one little glitch, and that's the only one I've seen. I probably played a handful of hours of this game, and not a big deal. You save after every game almost, and you're not going to lose too much progress, but I did want to bring up that I did see that glitch, in this first few days of playing it, so I will keep looking for those. But I just can't immediately say it's an issue of any kind. This game looks beautiful. The graphics are really, really sharp and crisp, and it really does make you feel like you're watching a baseball game. These things are getting really close to real life, and when you're sitting there playing it and controlling it, it just feels so cool. The views from the outfield are neat when you're playing in the field. The views when you get on bases and you're running around the bases, it just looks amazing. And this is a fun game to look at, opposing ballparks and just check them out. These are all real life things, and it's really, really accurate, and it's really fun, and a great game to listen to while you play podcasts or listen to music or even watch baseball or just do something else. It's a perfect game for that because you can pause between your at bats. I'm playing player locked as Ronald Acuna Jr., so you only play the instances where he is, up to bat or getting some action in the field. So it's really fun. It makes the games go by quickly, and you can still make an impact on the game, with your one player. It's really fun. So I've been trying to steal bases. I've been trying to hit bombs, and my next goal is I want to start throwing some people out from the outfield, so that would be fun. But this game has been great. I've been playing it a good bit more than I thought I would this first weekend, which has been kind of fun. And I'm really on the baseball hype train, so that's definitely why. At the beginning of this season for baseball, I love to watch the Braves all the way through, but I go through, peaks and valleys of playing the show. I probably won't play it all season, and then I go through other peaks and valleys of watching all the other teams in the MLB. So I usually like to buy the MLB TV so I can watch all the games. I have a friend that's subscribed to it and let me use his login, so I'm using that right now. So I've been able to watch, any baseball game that I want to. So, life has been good for my eyeballs. I love watching some baseball, and it's very relaxing and just, kicking off the warm weather in the summer, right? So it's been really, really awesome. MLB The Show has been really great. I highly recommend it if you're a baseball fan. I don't know how long I'll be playing this game, but I'm using it right now as my, a relaxation. It's not mindless, but it is a great game to play, while you're listening or I'm listening to something else basically or watching something else. And you can make some progress, you can have some fun, you can have some challenge. And it's just baseball. It's baseball on your damn video game console, and it's as good as it can be. And I guarantee you'll like it if you're a baseball fan and want to play some baseball video games. So go play MLB The Show 2023. I'll be playing some more of this. I'll be reporting back to you on this game too if I keep playing it. There won't be too much to talk about it unless I keep, I see another glitch or maybe I start dabbling in a new mode. They have the mode where you create your own player that's really popular, and that's fun to do. And last year, sometimes I like to make a player then fit him in on the Braves. So I can possibly make a left fielder for this year and try to get up into the Braves in the majors and try to contribute to the team that way. But I'm really having fun playing with Ronald on the major league squad. So I've thought about switching to Mike Harris for a game or two, but I've been sticking pretty strong with Ronald. And I'm liking this better. I'm liking you don't have to grind your character to get him better. And I'm getting to use my favorite player in all of sports. And it's been really, really fun. So MLB The Show has been a great surprise. I've probably played this game every year for, the last decade or something, even for just a little bit. And with this game being on Game Pass for the last 3 years in a row, that's an excellent reason for Xbox owners and Game Pass subscribers to play this game. So kind of hard to not play it if you're in that situation. So great job to MLB The Show, great job to Xbox, and anyone involved with this game, all the players in the baseball world, and the Atlanta Braves, number one. So that's all I gotta say. So that game has been really fun. It's been the main thing I've been playing, and we're gonna talk about another game though. So the next game that I've been playing this week is something that I've been playing for a couple weeks now, and that's Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC. This has been super fun. I really love the castle. I think that's the castle and the castle outskirts. The castle is very demanding and hard, but it's very fun. And I gotta say, I think these are my favorite sections in Dead Cells. I think these are the coolest looking sections. I think they have the coolest enemies, coolest aesthetic. I love the Castlevania stuff so much. It's easy to get to. It's easy to access. I love looking for it on the first level. I love going down those stairs. I love seeing the bats. And I love getting my ass kicked when I get to the castle. I've had one really successful run in this. And most of the time I'm getting worked in the castle at some point because those enemies are tough. I was writing down the enemies I like. I like the bats. They're my favorite enemies because you can hit them with the bow and one-shot them. So the bats are number one in my book. The mermaid guys are second because they're easy to fight. You can just get up on them and slice them. They take a lot of hits, but they can take a lot of bow and arrows. But they're pretty easy, pretty straightforward. The purple guys are third because they're annoying. They're tough. Not a fan of their zoom thing they do. They'll jump in at you and get you. And then once you get to the castle, those enemies, those rolling lion guys are tough. They take a million bow and arrow shots. The spear statue guys are probably the toughest ones that I've come across. You'll walk by these statues and they'll come to life and they got these giant spears and they can hit you from all different angles and they chase you around and they got some reach. And when you're fighting those guys, you're just happy to see a lowly little green guy in that section because they're easy. But some of these enemies are really tough and they're really cool though. All the art style on them is really neat, and some of them are just tougher than not. So I think it's going to be really tough to get to the end of that castle, but I'm going to keep trying. I've been playing this on Xbox for the most part, and I'm just I was talking about roguelikes a little bit on the last few shows, and I think I'm deciding I need to try to only play one of these games at a time. So I'm really loving the Dead Cells right now. I keep going to pick it up and play it. So it's probably not the best time to be buying another roguelike at this point. Like Have a Nice Death is something I've been wanting to try out, but why try it out and do Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC a disservice? So I can play Have a Nice Death at some other point, and I'm going to keep rolling with this Dead Cells. It's been really fun. It's a great game to play. I'm getting to the point where I can get some longer runs going in this game, so that's a whole different facet of this. So I'm getting over 20-minute runs sometimes in this. So it's becoming a little more of a commitment to play it, but with the Xbox, the quick resume and all that kind of stuff, you can pause things very easily. and restart. So that is a much appreciated feature for me, for my style of video gaming. I might not be sitting down for, many hour play sessions. So it's nice to be able to get some work in and then be able to zoom out of it and come right back into where you want to. So I think that's a really cool feature of the Xbox. And I've been primarily using Xbox recently. It's been kind of a new thing. I've been trying to use my Xbox more so for any third-party games, any indie games that I can purchase on there. I'm trying to funnel them all through my Xbox for the most part. Has been my goal recently. Kind of try to unify my purchasing on one platform as much as possible, so I can have my best library on one type of console. But that's just something that's ever changing in my mind, but something I've been consistently doing for a little bit here. I've been really enjoying it, so I think it's been cool to have been focusing in like that, and Dead Cells is a good example of that on the Xbox. So I think you should go buy this game. I'm not sure if the DLC is still on sale. I think Dead Cells runs $24.99. The DLC is running around $9.99. There's some bundles where I think you can get the game and the DLC for $29.99 possibly, or maybe a little more, including the other DLCs from Dead Cells. But I really think this is the best DLC content pack for Dead Cells around. I think this should be the one that you focus on or buy first if you want to, and I've really been loving it. So Dead Cells, shout out to you. I think that game's from 2017 or something like that, and it's back in my main rotation, and I've been loving it, and it's been very fun. And maybe Castlevania is something that I need to look into more in the future of playing or going back and checking some Castlevania out, because I really like I said this word once today, but the aesthetic of it. It's really, really cool, and the style and the flavor and just everything around it. It just looks so cool, and I really like it. So Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC. I think I have this on my Game of the Year list, and I think it's going to stay there until it gets booted, but it's a DLC, and it can be on the Dep Lewis Show Game of the Year list because it is my Game of the Year list. So if I've been enjoying this enough throughout the year, I'm going to add it to my Game of the Year list, because I think it's substantial enough content where it's not just like a new map in Call of Duty or something. It's really cool. It's a whole new way to tackle this game. It's a whole new path through. It's very difficult. When you get to the castle, it's difficult, so that's fun. So there's a level of complexity there, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long this holds up. But I'm in a nice state with the Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC right now. So I'll put the Dep Lewis Show stamp of approval on that right now. Boom! Hit it. All right. That's the sound of a stamp right there, if you didn't know. A really, really nice stamp. So, all right. The last game that I've been playing this week is the 2022 Game of the Year, Splatoon 3. I've returned to Splatoon a little bit this week. I've joined it on the Splatfest. I played maybe just a handful of matches. I really didn't get too hooked on it this time. I have other games rolling right now that are taking priority, so I kind of got close to the weekend. I was like, oh my god, the Splatfest is here. I got to play some of this. So I haven't even joined the team yet, which is sad. I usually get in there and join the team beforehand and then start playing right away, but it let me, when I logged in, I wanted to go play. It lets me pick my team, so I picked Team Nessie because that's who I said. We're a Team Loch Ness Monster over here, so Team Nessie, stand up. When I logged in, what was it, Saturday morning to play this, I guess? Or I don't know. It might have been late Friday. But I logged in, and they give you the update on who's already leading, and the aliens were in the lead just by a little bit, and Nessie was right behind. So, I could have easily just been a noob and just gone on the aliens team because they were winning, tried to be a winner, but I joined the Nessies. Hopefully the Nessie team has been doing some work out there. I did a little bit of work myself, but I haven't played Splatoon 3 in a few weeks, and I think there's some muscle memory there with the Splatoon 3, but I had some fun getting back into there. I was on the green team with the Team Nessie, Loch Ness Monster. I looked up some general information on Loch Ness Monster, since when I saw Nessie, I didn't really immediately know they were talking about the Loch Ness Monster, so maybe you'll be in that same boat. Maybe you're just smarter than me, which is probably pretty easy to do and probably pretty common and probably very understandable, but the Loch Ness Monster, aka Nessie, is a creature in Scottish folklore that is said to inhabit Loch Ness in the Scottish Highlands. It is often described as large, long-necked, and with one or more humps protruding from the water. So she got them humps, those lovely lady lumps. Popular interest and belief in the creature has varied since it was brought to worldwide attention in 1933. Evidence of its existence is anecdotal, with a number of disputed photographs and sonar readings. So look at Loch Ness being anecdotal out there. All right. So that was my little history on the Loch Ness monster. So pretty cool, pretty anecdotal. There's new maps that I've returned to Splatoon 3 to find. There's a new ship one. It reminds me of Call of Duty. I fell off the side of the map here the first time I was playing it, so that was pretty funny and interesting. But it seemed like a pretty cool map, and it felt like you were doing Splatoon 3 things on a Call of Duty map. So it was pretty neat, and it feels good to be back playing Splatoon. I need to play this more regularly than I have. I've been just playing it during the Splatfest, so I think that has slowed down my my acceleration for playing this game. But it feels good to be back playing Splatoon. The Splatfest is going to the end of the weekend, so it ends today on Sunday. Today is Sunday, April 2nd, so sometime today the Splatfest will end, and hopefully Team Nessie will be crowned the champions, and then we'll be on the lookout for the next Splatfest coming out, I guess in a couple months or whatever. But just wanted to shout out some Splatoon 3, the game of the year for 2022 for the Dep Lewis Show, a resounding game of the year last year, a very strong one, and I think you should go play the Splatfest. I think it's one of the best times in Splatoon 3, and just a great game. Splatoon 3 has its extra content coming out this year called the Side Order, I believe it's called. And then Splatoon 3, I've never even touched the single player content in Splatoon 3. So that is something that if there's a lull this year of games, I should maybe go try to play some single player content in Splatoon 3. But I've just Splatoon 3 won game of the year for me last year based off just the multiplayer. So hold on one second here. Sorry, that's my sneeze cough button, and the sneeze went away. So, won game of the year last year based off just multiplayer, so it's pretty strong. And I think that a lot of people just love the single player. So, just another great game out there. I just want to just bring it up again. Splatoon 3, Splatoon 3, Splatoon 3. You should go play it. All right, so to wrap up this first section, I was like, maybe I'll start talking about games I'm thinking about buying in this section. So, just things that are on my brain that I'm thinking about buying that. Most days I'm thinking about video games. I'm thinking about what to buy. I'm thinking about what's coming out. I'm thinking about what I'm going to play. And a game that keeps crossing my mind mostly every day is the Resident Evil 4 remake. So I think that's a pretty good sign that I need to buy it. And that's pretty much the only one that's the top of my list right now, things that have come out that I haven't played that I would like to buy. So just wanted to let you know where my mind is at. The Resident Evil 4 remake is pretty high up there, and I'm really, really interested in it. So you might hear me talking about this some more in a future show in this first section of what I've been playing, but for right now it's just a thought of something I want to buy. It's $59.99 out there. It's been getting great reviews. A lot of people say it's the best Resident Evil game ever, and a lot of people are touting this as one of the best remakes ever. So it seems like a great thing to jump into, and I probably will be doing that at some point. So when I do, I will certainly let you know. And for that, we're going to wrap up this first section of the show, episode 26. So we talked about what I've been playing this week. We talked about MLB The Show. We talked about Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC. We talked about the Splatoon 3 Splatfest that's going on right now. Shout out to Team Nessie. The Loch Ness Monster team is the one doing the damn thing. And then we talked about Resident Evil 4 Remake is something that I'd like to purchase soon. It is my main game that I am in my thinking about buying section right now is Resident Evil 4 Remake. So I just wanted to let you know about that. So we are going to take a break, the first break of the show. So go do whatever you need to do. And then we're going to come back and talk about what I've been seeing across the video game world. And that's what we're going to do. So see you in just a minute. Welcome back to the mid section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 26. We're going to smoke on some mid. We're going to talk about what we've been seeing across the video game landscape. We have some, let's see here. We got some gameplay, we got some DLC, and we got some news. So let's start with the gameplay, because that was the most exciting thing that happened last week in the video game world, according to me, according to the news, and that was a gameplay teaser for The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. The game that everyone's waiting for this year that comes out in May. So we are only a little over a month away. I think it's May 12th is when that game comes out. Don't quote me on that at the moment. I wish I had that written down, but I think it's May 12th, 2023 for The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, the follow up to The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild from 2017. So this is a sequel that is, 6 years in the making, and probably the most anticipated game, one of the most anticipated games since then. And you can go watch right now. a gameplay teaser trailer around 10 minutes long, and it was awesome. The things that I learned from this are, slight spoilers if you're really, really into Zelda, but it seems like in this now that every item in the world is going to have properties on it that you can fuse with other things. So you can take your arrows, you can fuse them with the Keese eyeballs, and they will turn into homing missiles. So you no longer have to aim when you're trying to shoot a bird out the sky or something. You can just add a Keese eyeball to the end of your arrow, and it will zoom in right to your target and shoot them down. You can do things like you can add a bucket to the end of your shield. You can whack people with it. You can grab a stick off the ground and a pitchfork, and you can fuse those, and you can make it extra long to poke people from a distance. So there's going to be a million different combinations in this game of what you can do. A lot of trial and error. You're going to be fusing these items together and see what they're doing. I think it's going to open up it's going to make the sandbox of this game, insane. There's going to be so much things you can do. People are going to be trying to break this game, and that's obviously what they want you to do, is try to break this game. And it seems very, very cool. The whole basis of this game is it's the whole ground floor. As I think it was Giant Bomb was calling it. When I was watching them talk over this trailer, they're calling the ground floor in this game the basement. So the basement is basically Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. All the stuff on the ground is sort of the same. It's kind of the same layout, but there's different buildings, different things to look at, enemies in different places. There's different things there, but generally it's going to be the same Hyrule or whatever on the bottom. But then there's a whole sky world up top now that you can go to. You can fall from the sky and just fall right down to the ground with your glider. It's amazing. And you can get up into the sky world, and there's so many different land masses up there in the sky that it looks like you're on the ground at some point. So it's insane. But there would be some crack where you could fall through and go to the bottom. So I think it's going to be really, really cool and amazing. And I think it's probably going to be Game of the Year. Most likely. It looks awesome. There's a new rewind feature. So, if a rock fell off a mountain, you can go to that rock, you can rewind it, and you can ride the rock back up the mountain with it as you're rewinding it and get to the top of that mountain. There's some insane physics and gravity stuff and sandboxy stuff, and it just looks really, really cool. And I am excited for this game. This gameplay trailer was really neat. Link has long hair. They're saying he has a mullet almost. So I don't know if that's just because things in Link's world have been so busy and he's so hectic that he's out there just doing his thing. He has no time to look for his hair, but this game looks good. It looks, people like to knock the Switch for its hardware prowess, but this game looks just as good as Breath of the Wild, and not a little bit better. It doesn't look like it's changing up too much, but having the the difference between the sky world and the lower world is super cool. And I don't know how you really talk shit on this game. It looks amazing. Let's see what else here I wrote about this game. Link can now use whatever's around him, like plant sticks, rocks, foraged mushrooms, abandoned machine parts to make stuff. The travel from the lower world to the sky world looks so cool. Sky world, looks giant. Link has long hair. And I don't know, this game looks amazing. There's going to be some familiarity here with the base world down there, but then the sky world is going to be a whole new thing. And people keep saying they still don't know what the tears of the kingdom are. Like, why is the kingdom sad, or why does it have tears? And I think that remains to be seen. But we're going to find out in May. And so please go watch that trailer. That's the main thing I want to say from this show and from this section, is go watch that gameplay trailer for The Legend of Zelda. It looks awesome. It was a pretty big deal that they were showing that last week, and there hasn't really been too much. They haven't shown too much of this game. They obviously don't need to, but getting some insight into it is awesome. And if they're willing to share this stuff with us, there has to be a ton of other things that are available in this game that are going to blow our mind. And I don't think that's hyperbole. And I think this game is tracking to be really, really great. So get your pre-orders in, and get ready for this. Take some time off. Do whatever you're going to need to do. Dust your Switch off. This is going to be a big event in May, and I'm just excited for it. And with this gameplay trailer, they also announced something else. So there is a Zelda themed OLED coming out, and it's coming out right before a little bit before the actual game. So this is just a standalone console. You don't get the game with it, but you can pre-order this right now on Amazon for $359.99. It releases on April 28th, 2023. It just has it's a Zelda themed Nintendo Switch OLED. So it looks amazing. It looks cool. The designs are awesome. If you don't have an OLED and you thought about buying one, this would probably be the one to get. If you don't have an OLED and you have a regular Switch and just want to get an OLED, I think the OLED is a solid purchase. I think it definitely improves the handheld aspect of your gaming, and the rest of the experience is pretty similar. But if you like handheld, I think it's the way to go. Or if you just want to buy a new Switch that looks cool, I think this would be a great one to do it. It's probably one of the cooler looking OLEDs out there for the Switch. I know there's a few different styles. There's a Splatoon 3 one. And I think there's a few other ones possibly, but there's that Animal Crossing Switch that's not an OLED. But this is definitely one of the cooler themed Nintendo Switches, and it's really, really cool. I think these will be selling like hotcakes. I thought about pre-ordering one myself, but I need an OLED. Like I need a hole in my head. I need it less than that, but I need it more than that. But I don't need a new OLED. My OLED works great. This would just be a cosmetic upgrade, but it is a very cool cosmetic upgrade. I also thought about just maybe picking this up and holding on to it, but whatever. We'll see. $360 if you want to go cop one, and very, very cool. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. You heard it here first. It's going to be a good game. All right. So the next thing that I've been seeing that I really couldn't get a gauge from when this is coming out, but the Cult of the Lamb has a free expansion coming out, or DLC. And so I just want to talk about this. I don't have a date. I don't have a time. I don't know if it's already hit, and I don't think it has. But this new free expansion or DLC is called Relics of the Old Faith is the name of this. And it's shaping up to be a massive improvement to an already solid title, is one thing I've read. They detailed, so this Cult of the Lamb, the original game, is currently available on PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S. And some of the new things with this new expansion, the Relics of the Old Faith, they've detailed 4 of the new buildings arriving in the update: the kitchen, the shared shelter, the crypt, and the farm plot sign. So the cooks can now be assigned to the kitchen, where up to 30 meals can be queued. So the cult leader no longer has to spend so much time cooking for everyone, so that's an improvement. The shared shelter houses 3 more followers and never collapses, so you don't have to worry about your sleeping bags on the ground getting eroded or whatever, or corroded, or whatever the word is. The crypt is an upgradable structure that contains multiple dead followers, which frees up tons of space previously reserved for graveyards. And then the farm plot sign designates farm plots for specific plots and helps keep everything nicely organized. So it seems like there's a lot of updates to the, Cult of the Lamb has some Animal Crossing or some farming sim aspects to the gameplay. So I think it seems like a lot of these Relics of the Old Faith are helping that progression along. All those 4 new buildings are time saver things that are, removing previous jobs that you've had to do and simplifying them. So that's pretty nice. It allows you to spend time doing other things in the game, like going on the, the combat paths, or, building other things around your little farm or area. So I think it's pretty cool. I think it is coming soon, and I will certainly let you know if I hear about the release of this. It's going to be free, so they're calling this a free expansion, but it does sound like it's one step away from being like a DLC where you purchase it. So I think that's a nice, if you don't have to pay for it, that's obviously very nice. And if it's a lot of content, that's obviously very nice. So you just kind of wonder, why the heck are they doing that? Why are they being nice to us? But I think Cult of the Lamb was a pretty big success. So they want to keep the game going and improving it and getting even more people to play it. And I think it's a great sign for Cult of the Lamb and all the devs and all those and all the fans of the game. I think it's been a major success, and they're updating it with some quality content. I think that's all you could really ask for as a gamer if you're really into a game. So very, very cool, and the Cult of the Lamb people for doing that. And I'm sorry I don't have a date or more solid information on the release of that, but I think they've kind of just said this is coming but haven't given a date. So that kind of leads me to think it'll be sooner than later. I think it's just going to be something that they say on Twitter, hey, it's available now. It's going to download when we fire it up next time, and enjoy the new content. So I feel like it's possible maybe next week I could be reporting that back to you, but either way, I'll be on the lookout for it. So those are the 2 main game news things from this week that I noticed and was interested in. And then the last thing I want to talk about here in the midsection is a Electronic Entertainment Expo, otherwise known as E3, has been officially canceled. The email that was sent out, it says, while E3 remains a beloved event and brand, and that the 2023 version simply did not garner the sustained interest necessary to execute it in any way that would showcase the size, strength, and impact to our industry. So this event was supposed to be held from June 13th through June 16th at the Los Angeles Convention Center and would have been the first in-person E3 event since 2019. Big names like Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, and more, recently Ubisoft, have announced that it would not be attending E3 in any capacity, with most opting to host its own digital showcases. So all these major players, major companies came out sort of recently in the last few weeks and said they would not be attending this E3 event. And then, the writing on the wall came down last week, or the writing on the wall was telling us that, E3 might not be happening. I'm always talking about listening to the Nextlander because I really like that podcast. But I was listening to them record last week and they were talking, I guess there were some rumblings going around about E3. And they were like, hey, if this gets canceled in an hour after the show, then, joke's on them. And that seems like exactly what happened. That it sounded like at first E3 was maybe going to be trying to push along and just have whatever type of show that was available. Or, if there was an indie dev that wanted to be there. Or, just get kind of whoever that could go there. But it sounds like they decided to pull the cord and not try to have some small show. And even that quote I just read you says, it would not showcase the size, strength, and impact of the industry. So I think the brain power behind this really wants this to be more of a massive event than just something smaller focused. I think that's kind of their mindset. It seems like they want this to go big or go home for the most part. And there must be a money incentive there or something, business wise on that side. But kind of sad. E3 is a landmark of the video game industry for a long time. I've heard a lot of people say that Jeff Keighley's summer showcase is kind of taking over E3. So I don't know. It's just the modern world. All these companies can, Nintendo Direct can drop a 20-minute Direct and say, hey, go watch YouTube. Here's this Direct. And people are excited and it'll get tons of views. And it's just easier to get the information out to people these days. You don't necessarily need the large entertainment expo. But it's just like a fun thing. It was always fun to watch the E3 content back in the day. But obviously we're getting more announcements. And I don't know. I don't think it's ultimately very sad. I think it's just kind of the way of the world and the way the video games are going. But it definitely is a thing of the past and, a revered thing of the past that's very cool. And I got a lot of enjoyment from it. But, things are changing. Things are always changing. It's how this world works out here. And, maybe it'll be back in some capacity, but it's probably not likely. So, E3 of the past is probably a gone thing. So Summer Showcase, go watch that with Jeff Keighley. Go check out these, Sony State of Plays, these Xbox Directs, these Nintendo Directs, even some developers, Bethesda does their Directs, Just you got to be a little more tuned into the smaller things out there, the smaller teams, the smaller studios. Not the smaller studios, but just the individual studios. You can get the information directly from them now. It's kind of the main thing where they don't have to come to this E3 and I don't know. Just go through all the things that are involved with E3. It's just more direct these days. Hold on one second. Oh, never mind. There was a sneeze again that went away. It's allergy season around here. But E3 is canceled, so don't book your tickets out there to Los Angeles. And I think the E3 news will hear. I think it'll be a while before the speculation each year goes away for E3. I think we'll be hearing this next year. Are they going to have a show? Who's going to show up? Everyone's turning it down. So I think if they want to execute E3 next year, I think they need to be planning right now for what it's going to be. I don't think they need to have all these big companies, say, hey, we're not going to the ball. We're not going to go hang out with you. I think they should start planning right now for E3 next year if they want to have it. And they need to have some guaranteed things and people that want to be there and a purpose for it. Maybe open it to the public again. Have some sort of, I don't know. They need to do something different and they need to start planning now if it's going to be a success. Would be my only advice. That's all I got to say. I just want to let you know that E3 was canceled. I don't have the solution there. I don't have high expectations for E3 anymore, but it is something that I've enjoyed a whole lot in the past. So always a little bit sad to see something like that go or not pan out or not be successful any longer, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles. All right, so that's going to wrap up the midsection of the show. We're done smoking our mid. We talked about the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom gameplay teaser trailer. Go watch that right now, or go watch it after you listen to this podcast. or put it on while you're listening to this podcast and just turn the volume down on the gameplay. And really, really cool. Cult of the Lamb has a free expansion or DLC pack coming out soon. I think that would be sooner than later, so I will be reporting back to you on that and keep your eyes and ears to the streets. And then if you were planning on going to E3 this year, you're not going to be able to because that has been canceled. So I'm sorry to anyone excited for E3. And that's going to wrap up the midsection. So we're going to take our second break of the show. And then we're going to come back for the Miscellaneous Talk section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 26. We're going to talk the next book that I'm reading. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. We're going to talk about a podcast I like and some updates there. And then we're going to talk about some sports. So don't go nowhere. Listen just for a second and then come back and listen to the final section of the show in just a minute. See you soon. Guess who's back? Back again. Dep Lewis Show. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Episode 26. And this is the Miscellaneous Talk section of the Dep Lewis Show. Welcome back to the show. We're going to talk about a few things here. We're going to talk about some books, or a book, talk about a podcast, and then we're going to get into some sports, the worldwide world of sports. So let's get it started. So I've been on a little bit of a book kick so far this year. I'm trying to reach my Goodreads goal of reading 13 books this year. I think I've knocked 2 of them out so far this year, and I'm on the 3rd. So the 3rd book I'm reading right now is The First Secret Project of the Year by Brandon Sanderson. He has 4 secret project novels that release this year each quarter. And the first one is called Tress of the Emerald Sea. Like I said, by Brandon Sanderson, or as I like to call him, Sando. And the back of the box, talk about this book, just so you know. It says, the only life Tress has known on her island home in an emerald green ocean has been a simple one, with the simple pleasures of collecting cups brought by sailors from faraway lands and listening to stories told by her friend Charlie. But when his father takes him on a voyage to find a bride and disaster strikes, Tress must stow away on a ship and seek the sorceress of the deadly midnight sea amid the spore oceans, where pirates abound. Can Tress leave her simple life behind and make her own place sailing a sea where a single drop of water can mean instant death? And let's say, so far she's been able to do it. So Tress of the Emerald Sea has been really, really good. I think I'm 3/4 of the way through this book. And the second secret project just released over the weekend for Brandon Sanderson. So that'll be the next thing I'm reading. I don't have the name of that book here, but I actually added it to my Kindle last night. So I'm preparing out here. So these are things that Sando did a Kickstarter for last year. So there's 4 of these books. I paid for the digital versions whenever they drop this year. So I'll be getting 4 books from Brandon Sanderson this year at least, which is awesome because I love his writing. It's very fun and exciting, and it's always exciting when he has a new drop. And this book has been really good. They're really very fast to read. They're very fun. They're very engaging, and I think you should go read them. I think you should go read check out the Sanderson Cosmere. That would be my recommendation to you. They're just fun fantasy, trying to save the world, trying to save your friends. You got powers, crazy things going on in the world, all that kind of stuff. It's just very fun. It's very good entertainment, very enjoyable, and I think you should go read it. So I'll hopefully finish this book by the end of before next show, and I'll be on to the next secret book. So I'll tell you a little bit about the next secret book next week. So I just want to kind of keep you updated in this section about what I've been reading and where I'm at in my Goodreads goal. So this would be number 3. No, this would actually be number 4. So I don't know. I'll give you some more numbers next week. I'll give you updates on my Goodreads challenge. Maybe that's a great idea. So we'll talk about that next week. All right. So one of my favorite podcasts, one of my favorite live shows each week is on Monday night. It's called Kill Tony. It's a live podcast hosted by Tony Hinchcliffe and Brian Redband. They usually have a celebrity guest, sometimes like Tim Dillon or Bert Kreischer or Whitney Cummings. And I'm just saying that because those were the guests, or some of the guests this week. They had Whitney Cummings, they had Bert Kreischer or Bert Chrysler, and they had Jim Norton. And this was the first episode in Joe Rogan's new comedy club, The Mothership. So Kill Tony, for the last couple years since the pandemic, has been filmed in Austin, Texas. There's a few different comedy clubs there that they've used, and they have now switched over to The Mothership, so Joe Rogan's club. And it was interesting to see the new stage setup and see it. I was ready. Been waiting to see when they're going to be in the the new spot for Kill Tony because I watch this every week. So it's a big change for Kill Tony watchers to see the venue change. But the stage is very cool. It's a little more intimate. And then they usually, in the prior location in Austin, they used to have the band on the back of the stage. Now the band is to the side. So they have a view camera now when you can see the comedian on stage from the side. You can see the band on the side over there too. So it's really neat. The one thing I noticed is there's no D Madness. He didn't move over to the mothership with him. So, shout out to D Madness. He's the blind bass player for Kill Tony, or for the prior Kill Tony venue, and it was always funny to watch him. He would interact with Tony a lot, but he would also get up and go to the bathroom a lot. So maybe they decided to leave him at the old location, or maybe he wanted to stay himself. But just interesting to see, and I really enjoyed this first new episode of Kill Tony at Joe Rogan's new club, and the guests were very funny. The new stage setup is nice. Yeah, the band is not in the back anymore; they're on the side, and the emergence of Aaron Bilal. He is a comedian with cerebral palsy, and he talks through a speaker box, or he talks through a Bluetooth speaker, which is amazing, and he's hilarious. He was given a golden ticket to the show, so he can perform on the show anytime he wants to, and he's available there. So they'll give him a minute anytime he's in town. This guy's a Canadian citizen. They're trying to help him get his American citizenship. Every comedian that sees him, every famous comedian gives him mad props. They want to help him. They want to mentor him. And he's just very funny. He disses on Tony. And just a real nice highlight. And also the Big Red Machine, William Montgomery, really killed the show this week. He's always closing the show, and it was just extra funny. And major props to William Montgomery. I've been watching his evolution for, a year or two now, and he is a stone cold killer up there. He's very funny. Love the show, Kill Tony. Go check it out on Monday nights. 9 p.m. Eastern is when it premieres on YouTube, and then you can watch, the replay whenever you want on YouTube. And it's basically one of the main reasons I pay for YouTube Premium, is so I can watch these episodes without ads. It's one of the highlights of my week. Something I watch every week. If I don't watch it at Monday at 9, I watch it Tuesday at whatever time I can, or I watch it. So it's really awesome. I recommend it to you. Kill Tony, one of the best podcasts out there, one of the best live shows out there. It is the best live comedy show out there, in my opinion, and go watch it. It's awesome. All right, so let's get into some sports here. The worldwide of sports. The worldwide world of sports. I've screwed that up twice now, but that's what it is. It's a worldwide world. So the official NFL team of the Dep Lewis Show, the Carolina Panthers, there is no news to report here. I just want to say go Panthers. The draft is like a month away. I really don't know who I want them to take as quarterback. Is it Bryce Young? Is it CJ Stroud? Is it Anthony Richardson? I don't know. I'm really liking the way the Panthers roster is looking outside of that, and just to go extend Brian Burns. That's all I want to say. Panthers have a lot of cap space right now, and I don't know why. And I don't know if they're just going to pay Brian Burns, or they're working on it, or if they have some other free agent signing up their sleeve, but they have some cap space right now, and I want to know what they're doing with it, and they're not telling me, and I need to know. All right, so if you're out there listening, David Tepper, give the Dep Lewis Show a call. Email DepLewisShow@gmail.com and give me some information, Mr. Billionaire. Send me some info, and I will report it here on the Dep Lewis Show, or I'll keep it close to the chest until you tell me to release it. I'm a loyal. I'm not a crazy nut out here. I'll do what you want, but give me the info. I need to know. I'm a loyal supporter. This is the official team of the Dep Lewis Show, the official NFL team, the Carolina Panthers, man. So get with it or get lost. That's all I gotta say. But all right, another Carolina team, the Charlotte Hornets. They beat the Mavs on Sunday, which is amazing. So they beat the Mavs last week, twice in 1 week. Just wanted to report that. I don't know if I said that last week, but that's pretty crazy they did that. The Mavs are like a fringe playoff team right now, which is wild. The Hornets lost to the Bulls Friday night. DeMar DeRozan was out there stunting with his mid-range. And the next two home games are against the Raptors. I believe there's one today on Sunday. I think it's at lunchtime. And then there's another game against the Raptors. And then there's a game last home game of the season for the Hornets is against the Rockets. And then their final game of the season is away at Cleveland. So only a handful of games left for the Hornets. They're not going to be making the playoffs. They are in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. They're trying to get the lottery balls to fall so they can draft Victor with the first pick, the giant 7-foot phenom from overseas. And I really kind of hope that happens. It'd be fun to be able to go see a game and watch him play. So So that's all I want to say about the Hornets this week. But watch a couple more games with them. They're just trying to get some reps in there, really, and just close strong, more for like a moral victory than anything. So go Hornets. And then the official team of the Dep Lewis Show, the official sport of the Dep Lewis Show, Major League Baseball and the Atlanta Braves have started officially. Thursday was the start of the season, 3/30/2023. Got to watch meaningful live baseball, and the Braves have won their first 2 games against the Washington Nationals. They are 2-0, and I couldn't be happier about that. The Braves play today, I believe, at 1 o'clock again to finish this series with the Nats, and I hope it'll be a sweep. Hope they're getting the damn brooms out, and it's just been amazing to watch. Matt Olson has been great. It's been fun to watch my favorite player, Ronald Acuna Jr., play again. I got to see Max Fried pitch, but he messed up his hamstring a little bit, so that was one negative from the first game. Yesterday I got to watch Spencer Strider, Mr. Mustachio, and he was throwing that heat. He looked wonderful. The bullpen was flawless yesterday. I don't think the Nationals are a good team, but at least the Braves are coming out and handling business, and I love it. I've been watching other games around the league, and it's just been the best. It's my favorite sport to watch. It's one of my favorite forms of entertainment to watch. It's a great time of the year. It's over the warm months of the year. I'm going to some baseball games in May. I'm going to see the Braves play 3 games in May, back to back to back, which I can't wait for. And just ready for it. It's fun to be wearing my jerseys out, wearing my hats, wearing my shirts a little more often. Baseball season's brewing, and it's awesome. I'm playing fantasy baseball again, which even though I stink at it, I'm still playing it. I'm in a Yahoo prize league, and I actually have one of my friends doing it with me this year, so that's pretty fun. So he and I are figuring out the fantasy baseballs together while competing against each other. And I did my draft. I got Money Mike, I got Ozzy, I got Charlie Morton, I got Kyle Wright, I got Dansby. I wish I got Sean Murphy, but Sean Murphy, he didn't even play yesterday in the game, which was surprising. So Sean Murphy was the Braves' big acquisition at catcher. We already have Travis d'Arnaud, but Sean Murphy got paid as a young guy. He's supposed to be a Gold Glover, and for some reason he didn't play yesterday. So that was a little bit interesting. I kind of hope to see him back out there today because he's one of the main things I want to watch this year. I want to see what we've got with him because I don't really know too much about him. He came from the Oakland A's. They're on the West Coast. Those games generally run pretty late. The Oakland A's are really, really pretty bad team right now, so it's not like they're interesting to watch. But I've heard this guy is a stud, a diamond in the rough from their team, and I'm ready to watch him produce for our team. But just interesting to see that he didn't start or even play, I don't think. And, in fantasy, Ronald Acuna Jr. went first, so that was kind of disheartening because I was hoping to get him, but I picked like 7th or 8th, so there was no chance of me getting him really. But figuring out fantasy, here's the last thing. I want to talk about how annoying it is to stream baseball. You have to, if you don't have cable, which involves local sports networks, so you could pay for that. If you want to stream the Braves, you have to have Bally Sports, and Bally Sports is only available on DirecTV Stream or Fubo TV Stream, which both cost like pretty much $100 a month. So that's a lot of money, especially when you're just trying to pay to watch baseball. I don't really watch too much else on cable or TV. I watch some other sports a little bit, but mainly I'm just watching baseball. So I just want to highlight that it's annoying to stream baseball if you don't have just traditional cable or whatever. But I'm using Fubo TV right now, and I guess I'm just going to have to pay for it. It seems like a decent service. I have it on my phone, my laptop. It's available on the Xbox. It's not available on PlayStation. That's something to know. But there's an app on Xbox, and I think it might be the best solution for me for this year besides for my wallet. So that's all I got to say. I have a friend that subscribed to MLB TV, so I'm using his login to watch some of those games, which has been nice. I usually like to pay for that, but it's going to help me save a little money there since I have a friend that did it. So that was nice, and maybe I'll end up subscribing to that myself at some point too. But for now, I'm just going to keep rolling with this expensive streaming service that I got to pay to watch my favorite sport and favorite team. But whatever. That's how the world goes. Nothing in there. Not going to get most things just handed to you for free. So got to pay for the baseball, and I keep telling myself that I would probably pay more if I have to. So I don't want them to hear that. But I love watching it, so I got to do it, and I'll have to just figure it out. That's all I got to say. But baseball is here. Baseball is rolling. I'll be talking a lot of baseball in this miscellaneous talk section in the future, and I'm looking forward to it, so I hope you are too. And that's actually going to wrap up our show today. That's all we have to talk about. So in the miscellaneous talk section, we talked about The next book I'm reading, which is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. We talked about my favorite podcast, my favorite comedy show, Kill Tony. Please go watch it. They're now filming these in Joe Rogan's new club, The Mothership, in Austin, Texas. We talked about some sports. We talked about the Panthers. There's no news, but go extend Brian Burns, please. We talked about the Charlotte Hornets. They're finishing up their season. No playoff hopes, but they're just trying to finish on a strong note. And then we talked about the wonderful, the exciting, the mood-altering start of the season, the Major League Baseball season, and the Atlanta Braves. It's finally kicked off. The Braves are 2-0, so they are perfect right now, and they're perfect in my eyes anyways, but they're back rolling. So go watch some baseball, go watch your favorite team, go out to a ballpark, eat a hot dog, have a beer, get a foam finger, yell at an umpire, do whatever you want to do, yell at the batter, hey, batter, 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 hey, batter, batter, batter. Tell the pitcher he's got a big butt, do all that kind of stuff, and have a great time, and just cheers to the baseball season starting, and cheers to the Dep Lewis Show, and cheers to you out there for listening. This has been episode 26, and I really appreciate you. Thank you for listening every week. If you like this show and want to support it even more than listening, please go follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, and tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. Clips of the show on YouTube and TikTok. Go subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/DepLewisShow. The ground floor tier is $1 a month, and I would really appreciate it. And just thank you for listening. Thank you to all the video games out there in the world. Thank you to all the video game news out there in the world. Thank you to all the cool books. Thank you to all the cool comedians and comedy shows and podcasts. And thank you to all the sports. And thank you to the most to you out there, loyal listener. Thank you for listening. I really do hope you have a good week. I hope you play some fun games. I hope you go buy some games. I hope you go watch some baseball. Get some sun out there. Get some fresh air. Take your Switch outside to a park. Go play it. And don't forget to watch the Braves and cheer for the Braves. And cheer for the Dep Lewis Show to come back next week for episode 27. Because that's where I'll be. So I'll see you next week. Thank you, listeners, as always. And have a great week. And until next time, I'll see you then.